This is part 2 of Excel best practices. The first part is data management best practices. Have a look at that and then see this video as well. This particular part is about formulas, how to learn, how to manage, how to optimize, how to troubleshoot. First thing is, many people have no idea how many functions are there in Excel. Now you have learned some functions, you are using them. So the first topic is which functions do I need and how do I learn them? Yes, even if you have been using Excel for a long time, don't be sure that you already know all the functions which you need. So how to learn functions? Very simple. It takes around 15 minutes of your time to shortlist the functions you need. And this is the best way to do that. Go to Insert function. It shows you a list of all or recently used functions. Ignore them. Go to each category. For example, I'm going to text category, finance category, whichever is relevant to you. Now, if you're a finance person and you never use scientific functions, okay, you can skip that. Bottom line, go to each category which applies to your work. Now, once you go to a category, you will see a list of functions filtered by that. One function is already highlighted and at the bottom, you see its description. Just read that description and think, do I know it? Then move on. If I don't know it, do I need it? Does it sound like I need it? Then note it down somewhere. Don't go into details of that functions and learn it right now. No, that's not what we are doing. We are just shortlisting them. So don't note it down. Go to the next one. Again, read the sentence. Shortlist, shortlist, shortlist. At the end of this 15-minute exercise, you will have some list of functions. 100% I am telling you. Now, whenever you get time, you look at those functions one by one. How do you do that? Type the function, click on that button. There is a help. Click on the help. Ideally, see the help in full browser, not in the right side pane because you can read better. Learn the syntax, understand the function. Okay, but that's not enough. To learn a function properly, you need to play with it. You need to type it. You need to change parameters. Now, for that, you require sample data. So scroll down. Every function in the help file at the bottom, there will be one or more examples. So go to the example. This is a web page, but still it's a table. So just copy the table and then come to a blank new Excel file. Make sure your cursor is in A1, paste that table and then again click on that icon and say paste without formatting. Adjust the column widths properly and now the function will run with the data. Now understand how it is running, change the parameters, look at optional parameters, add or modify data and then get comfortable with where to use the function. Once this is done, try to use it in your context, again on a sample file, not on a real file. And once you are familiar with it completely, then what is the idea? You learned a new function, but you already had the job being done using some other method. So now retrofit this function into your workflow and teach it to your colleagues. That's how you learn functions. Now this may take a couple of weeks for you to incorporate, but trust me, that will completely change the way you have been using Excel because now you have a bigger vocabulary. And in the process of learning, you have also noticed some other functions. When there is a need next time, you're going to find the right one in the right place. Many people I have seen edit the formula in the formula bar, which is quite small. Generally, people have zoomed in on the Excel sheet. So in cell editing is a good option to enable where you're typing in the cell and editing in the cell itself. It's easier to understand the functionality. Another thing to remember is when you are in a function and you're typing something, it shows you a small mini tooltip, right? Now that tooltip is really useful. Why? Because when you already typed a function, let's say there are 4 parameters and I want to now go and change a third parameter. Normally what people will do is delete, delete, delete and no. Look at the parameter, it's a hyperlink. Click on the hyperlink, the entire thing gets selected. In this case, it was just a small thing, but sometimes there are nested functions. So one parameter itself could be a long amount of text, but in one click, you can select it. Many people don't know that. There's another angle to it. If you select something in a function while you're editing it, if it's a new version and you go to the tooltip, you will actually see that executed and the value of it. The function is there, it's going to temporarily execute that part and show you the results. If you don't see that because you have an older version, no problem. Select something, press F9 and then it will calculate the results for you. Now remember, this is done just for understanding how a function works, or for troubleshooting. Don't press enter, otherwise that function will be replaced with the value. Of course, you can do undo, but just be careful. Of course, the most well-known best practice for Excel or any spreadsheet for that matter is don't hard code numbers. Nothing should be hard coded into a formula. Whatever is the number, yes, use a number, but put that number in another cell and refer to that cell. That makes things more easy to manage and flexible. Now, this is very important when you have tables. When you put a formula in table, it auto-copies. And many people say, no, I want exception there. Now, that's why I'm saying if you put the parameters in separate columns, then you can change it in a flexible manner and still get the autocopy function. In a real life situation, there are hundreds of formulas in a file. Even if you have put them there, you may not remember exactly what's happening. In fact, many people find it difficult to know where is a cell containing formula and where is it having a value. Yes, you can see all formulas together with control tilde or show formulas, I understand, but without any effort, would it be nice to know at least that this cell has a formula and this cell is an entry cell? Yes, that is why there are styles. It's just a visual way of knowing which one is a formula. So I strongly recommend use the formula style wherever there are formulas. Now, how will you do that? You have already put lots of formulas? Sure. That's why there is go to special. Control G, go to special, and then select cells containing formulas, and while all of them are selected, apply a style. Yes, you will have to repeat it for every sheet, but it's absolutely worth it. If you don't like the style Microsoft has given, change it to whatever you like. But differentiating formulas and input cells visually is a very good way of streamlining your Excel files. Another common thing is complex calculations may need to be audited or troubleshooted, or someone has given the file to you and now you have to manage. There is a function called Formulatext. Formulatext cell will actually output the formula in that cell. This is a very good way of documenting or understanding what is happening on a larger scale. So use Formulatext for documentation. Nowadays, there is cloud, right? You are putting files on OneDrive, Teams, SharePoint. But earlier, where were those files? They were on your local drive or some server share, M:, J:. What have people done? They took those files from local drive or server and dumped them on OneDrive, SharePoint. Very good. You get a lot of benefits. But there is a big problem if you are not careful. What is the problem? Remember, many of our files have links to other files. Now, assuming you had one file, second file linked to each other, sitting in local drive. Both of them you have put on OneDrive now. Now, does the link automatically change? No. And that is what many people have neither noticed nor taken any action about. So what should you do? You have no clue what has happened in the lifespan of any file. So better to be on the safer side, I recommend that every time you open a file, go to edit links, data, edit links, and then look at what links are available, select all and say update source. Trust me, you will find some errors, immediately correct them. And even if you don't find errors, make sure the path is pointing to the correct file. Sometimes there is a local copy of the file which is never going to get updated now because files have gone to OneDrive. And then you are getting a false sense of update. So be careful about links and manage them proactively. If you are an auditor or if you are troubleshooting a file or you have been given a complex thing and now you have to manage it, understanding what is there in an Excel file is important. Files can be large, so the best friend is Inquire. If you don't see Inquire, go to File, Options, Add-ins and enable Inquire. It is a part of Excel, trust me. Excel professional version or the cloud version. So what does that do? It gives you workbook analysis. It analyzes so many things automatically, gives you a report. It's a good start to any kind of audit, analysis, forensics, or any kind of activity which deals with large complex files which you are not familiar with. In addition to that, it also helps you with the links. It is a very sophisticated engine for finding cell level, sheet level, and workbook level links. And it's better than the edit links dialog. Do you know why? Because edit links will tell me this file is linked to those two files. What are those two files linked to? Many people don't have any idea of what is linked to what. Whereas this Inquire can go from file to file to file and actually give you the entire diagram. People are surprised to know how they have created reports once they see the analysis from Inquire. So for at least critical, important files, run Inquire and cross-check what you are expecting is actually happening. I have made a detailed video on how to use Inquire. Have a look at it. Finally, the new version of Excel is, new means Office 365 or Microsoft 365, the one which you download and install from office.com, not Office 16, 21, those kind of things. Those are desktop versions. Have many new functions. Of course, you may not have time to learn all of them, but at least 2 you should incorporate, because I'm sure you already use at least VLOOKUP somewhere. So change VLOOKUP to XLOOKUP. Speed is better and features are also better. Many people use VLOOKUP and index match together. So now there is X match like XLOOKUP as well. So at least 2. But really, if you want to transform the way Excel works, then you must look at all the new functions which are all array functions. Array means what? Array means the function is in one cell, but the results may not be one value. They can be multiple values, like a unique function. So explore those functions. I have a detailed video on that. Try those out, incorporate them, and it will improve the way you create Excel models. Now, if you are using VLOOKUP just for taking a code and translating into a description or product name, then you have a better option. You can use Power Query, import both the tables separately, create a relationship in data model, and then VLOOKUP is completely eliminated. That will reduce file size and improve performance. I have a video for that as well. Now, so far, whatever we have been talking about are Excel formulas. But when you put data in data model comes with its own set of functions. Those are called DAX functions, data analysis expressions. Now, doesn't matter what the long form, short form is. What matters is those are really powerful functions. And one of the most important things there is time intelligence. Many of our reports are always comparing something which is happening now with something which has already happened, or forecast, or target, or last year, last quarter. That kind of thing is very, very manually done in normal pivot or normal Excel formulas. But using time intelligence functions of DAX, you can have very sophisticated things done very quickly. So learn DAX formulas. The concept remains the same. DAX is difficult to learn to start with because DAX does not have rows and columns. It works on tables. But once you get the hang of it, it's really empowering. So invest some time learning DAX. Now let's talk about some troubleshooting related to formulas. You have values and formulas and they depend on each other. So if I want to know this value is being referred to by which formula or formulas, that's called dependents. So you go to the formula tab, say trace dependents. Many people know this, but what is not commonly known is just one level is not enough. I need to see if this is dependent, this is dependent. So it's a chain of formulas. So many people click on this one and then click on trace dependents. That's not required. You stay where you are, do not move the cursor and continue clicking on trace dependents again and again and again. Now the problem is, when do I stop? Because so the arrows may continue to go somewhere, but how do I know they have ended? They have finished the chain. So don't worry, just keep clicking on trace precedents till you hear a beep. That means the entire tracing is complete. To remove arrows, just click on this button. And the reverse is also possible. You can go to formula and reverse, click, 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 trace precedents. In case of trace dependents, if you see something like this, that means it's outside the sheet. And as I've already mentioned, if you want more detailed analysis, go to Inquire and say cell relationship, and you will get a much more sophisticated and comprehensive report. So that's how you use trace dependents and precedents. When you have a complex formula like this, troubleshooting it or understanding it is a challenge. And to simplify that, all that you have to use is the evaluate formula feature. So go to formulas tab, click inside the cell containing the formula and choose evaluate formula. Now just to explain what this one is doing, I am searching for the word Masterclass in a long list of videos and I am picking out those videos which have the word Masterclass in them and also their duration is more than 1 minute. Click inside the cell, click on evaluate formula it shows you the whole formula in a separate dialog like this. It will also underline something. Now that is the first thing which is going to get evaluated. So you see evaluate is giving me the actual range. Now next one is going to see my input, which is the word Masterclass. And then it is using this Masterclass with asterisks around it, which basically means the word Masterclass can be anywhere in the subject line. And also I'm looking at the titles, and then it expanded all the titles, and this will go long because it's an array which got generated. You see the curly braces. And the next step is checking which values are true, which values are false. Only few of them which match will be true. And then go further. After all this is done, it is giving me actual columns which I want. And now finally, I will get this out. So that's how you use evaluate formula to troubleshoot, understand, and refine your formulas. While working on Excel, the data and formulas can be in different places. But when the data changes, I want to see what is changing in the final output. For example, here, I want to see the impact on return on assets, but my actual data is somewhere else. Now, when I change something here, I want to see the impact. I have to change here, click there, again come back, again change. That's not very efficient. That's why we have watch window. So click on watch window. It opens a separate pane here. You can resize it or you can even dock it on the right side. But what am I interested in knowing? Currently, what is the value of ROA and let's say earnings after tax. And I say add watch. Now it'll show both the values right here. Now whether I am on this sheet or this sheet, these values are going to be shown live. So now if I change something, notice both the values will change without me having to do any navigational effort. So use watch window to see impact in another area. And finally, we talk about these green marks. These green marks indicate a potential error and they are dynamically calculated as you work on it. You have to go to File Options, Formulas, and then you will see different situations under which green marks appear. And I strongly suggest that because it's green, we think it is safe. No, it's not. Microsoft used green color because Microsoft had already used red color for comments. So it used a contrasting color. But anyway, it's a good idea to start noticing this by changing the color to orange or something else. What are these green or orange marks? At least you will start noticing them now and take some action. When you click on it, this icon comes and it actually tells you what kind of error this is. Now, when it is update formula to include cells, it basically means the original data has increased or decreased, but the formula is not reflecting that. And that's the problem here. I added a row, forgot to update the formula. So obviously in this case, I'm going to say update formula to include cells. But suppose I wanted this average only for Jan, Feb, March. In that case, although Excel thinks the formula is omitting some cells, for my purpose it is okay. So in this particular case, I'm going to say ignore error. So far, so good. Now, when I add more data, what will happen? Nothing is going to happen. This error was ignored, so it is no longer highlighting it as a problem, but this will still appear. And I still have to go there and manually say update. Also think this data has dependents. And if you look at the dependents, there will be multiple of them. Those dependents, you have to go and update the formulas. Go to error checking, click on it. Now it will take your cursor one by one and give you an opportunity to say, do you want to update it or do you want to ignore it? Now, however irritating this may sound, this has to be done for every Excel file and every sheet because this happens at sheet level. Now that you have done it, are you safe? No. So far it is good. But next time you add data, it's going to have all those errors coming back and you have to go one more round of this across sheets. Obviously, you don't want to do that. So here is the best practice. Every time you open any Excel file, do this first round of error checking. Handle all errors across all sheets. Click on this, you should get this message. Now that you're error free, you don't want to waste time manually repairing formulas again and again and again every time you add data. So that is why table is important. So when you're in an error-free state, go to the pieces of raw data, convert it to a table, ideally give it a sensible name as well from here. And now your life is good, because now when you add more data, updating the dependents is going to be Excel's job, not your job. And that's how you manage Excel, formulas, and the rest of the story more effectively. Part 3 is going to cover analytics related best practices coming soon. I'm sure you found this useful, so you know what to do. Most important, incorporate this in your day-to-day work, because unless you try it out, it's not going to give you benefits. If you haven't seen the first part, have a look at it. It's equally valuable. And the third part is coming soon. So that's it for now. Thank you.